Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. This is the third in the trifecta of episodes I have for you this morning. There are 5 articles in this edition. The URLs are listed in the description of this video for your enjoyment, perusal, research, what have you. The first one I have here is off of barenakedislam.com, and it says, U.S. Border Patrol agents deny entry to Canadians planning to attend the anti-Trump Pussy Power protest in Washington. Donald Trump doesn't need a wall to start enforcing border control laws that are already on the books. He just needs to allow border agents to do the jobs they've been hampered from doing for the past 8 years, and apparently he is. The Guardian says would-be protesters heading to the Women's March on Washington have said they were denied entry to the United States after telling border agents at a land crossing in Quebec their plans to attend the march. Montrealer Sasha Dyke was part of a group of 8 who had arranged online to travel together to Washington. Divided into 2 cars, the group, 6 Canadians and 2 French nationals, arrived at the border crossing that connects Saint Bernard de la Caye in Quebec with Champlain, New York on Thursday. The group was upfront about their plans with border agents. Dyke said, we said we were going to the Women's March on Saturday, and they said, well, you're going to have to pull over. What followed was a 2-hour ordeal. Their cars were searched and their mobile phones were examined. Each member of the group was fingerprinted and had their photos taken. Border agents first told the 2 French citizens that they had been denied entry to the U.S. and informed them that any further visits to the U.S. would now require a visa. Then for the rest of us, they said, you're headed home today, Dyke said. The group was also warned that if they tried to cross the border again during the weekend, they would be arrested. And that was it. They didn't give a lot of justification. UK national Joe Croce said he, a Canadian, and 2 Americans were held at the same border crossing for 3 hours on Thursday. The group had traveled from Montreal, where 23-year-old Croce is studying, had explained to border agents that they were considering attending the Women's March, but had yet to finalize their plans. After being questioned, fingerprinted, and photographed, Croce and Canadian companion were refused entry because they were planning to attend what the border agent called a potentially violent rally, he said. The pair was advised not to travel to the United States for a few months, and Croce was told he would now need a visa to enter the U.S. After attempting the crossing late Thursday, Montreal resident Joseph DeChunka said he was also turned away. He and 2 Americans he was with told the border agent that they were planning to attend the inauguration and the Women's March. The group was brought in for secondary processing, where the border agent asked about their political views. DeChunka told the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. The first thing he claims he was asked is, are you anti or pro-Trump? After being fingerprinted and photographed, he was told that his 2 friends could enter the U.S., but that he could not. They told me I was being denied entry for administrative reasons. According to the agent, my traveling to the United States for the purpose of protesting didn't constitute a valid reason to cross, DeChunka said. Canadian officials defended U.S. decision to deny entry for women marchers. Every country is sovereign and able to make its own rules to admit people, a government spokesman said after several Canadians were denied U.S. entry. So there you have that. And as always, there are comments below this if you'd like to pull them up and read what other people have to say about this and maybe contribute to your own. The next one I have is off of the conservativetribune.com. And it says, Jong tests Trump. So minutes after taking office, Trump amps up missile defense plans. Promptly at noon yesterday, well, actually it was on Friday, On time and according to schedule, President Donald Trump took the oath of office, promising to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. We hope Kim Jong-un, the maniac dictator of North Korea, was listening, because Trump also sent Kim a message, and the message was, "Just try me." Within minutes of Trump taking office, the White House website announced that the Trump administration will pursue the highest level of military readiness. President Trump will end the defense sequester and submit a new budget to Congress outlining a plan to rebuild our military. We will provide our military leaders with the means to plan for our future defense needs. We will also develop a state-of-the-art missile defense system to protect against missile-based attacks from states like Iran and North Korea, the website announced. For too long, allied nations have watched and worried as Kim Jong-un brutalized his own people while issuing insane threats to the U.S. and building nuclear capabilities to make those threats more credible. Trump has not only refused to play his game, he is making it clear that America will not, again, that America will now make the rules. With improvised missile capabilities, an increasingly dangerous foreign policy, and clearly unstable leader, North Korea has been a ticking time bomb trifecta. And there is video in this if you care to pull that up and take a look at that. It says, in his annual New Year's Day speech, Kim spoke profoundly of the strides he and his country had made in its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs. He said North Korea would continue to bolster its weapons program as long as the United States remained hostile and continued its joint military exercises with South Korea, according to the New York Times. We have reached the final stage in preparations to test launch an intercontinental ballistic missile, he said. ICBM readiness appeared to be credible, according to Rutgers, and a test launch could be imminent. Sources said they have detected 2 missiles, presumed to be prototype ICBMs, on mobile launchers poised for test firing in the near future, according to the UK Express. Although former President Barack Obama was unwilling to increase our missile defense strategy for fear of upsetting Russia, our strong new president has no such qualms. First, he means it. The next one that I have for you is off of Liberty Writers, and it says, Trump just promised to lift all Russian sanctions if Putin does this one thing for him. Not too long ago, Barack Obama placed a bunch of sanctions on Russia as retribution for the alleged hacking that exposed all of Hillary Clinton's dirty secrets. Well, now Donald Trump has promised to drop them all, but only if Putin promises to help him fight terrorism. Trump told the Wall Street Journal, if you get along and Russia is really helping us, why would anybody have sanctions if somebody's doing some really great things? However, this is not a promise to raise the sanction no matter what. Trump needs Putin to show him solid results, or he's going to keep all of Obama's sanctions. And there is video in this if you care to take a look at that. It says, oh, but that's not all. Trump is done with simply tweeting at Vladimir Putin and talking over the TV. He's ordered his team to arrange his first official meeting with the Russian leader as soon as he takes office. See, the liberals were so full of it when they said Donald Trump works for Russia. He simply sees Russia as a potential ally against a bigger enemy, and it's going to hold him accountable. If you think this is what real leadership looks like, then show your support by sharing this with at least 3 friends. The next one I have for you is off of BizPac Review, and it says, parents take action when it's discovered middle schoolers are being taught pro-Sharia propaganda. A group of Indiana parents were appalled to find their middle school children were being given worksheets that they felt amounted to propaganda for Sharia law. 7th grade students at taxpayer-funded Highland Hills Middle School were assigned a worksheet with a passage that portrayed the Islamic code in a favorable way, according to the Courier-Journal. The New Albany Floyd County School District was reviewing its curriculum after complaints by parents about the assignment. According to the Courier-Journal, the worksheet assigned to 7th graders at Highland Hills Middle School presents a passage written by a fictional 20-year-old Saudi woman named Alima. who feels very fortunate to live under Sharia law in Saudi Arabia. She writes about how she will soon become a man's second wife and explains her modest dress. I understand that some foreigners see our dress as a way of keeping women from being equal, but I find Western women's clothing to be horribly immodest. That document by itself is almost propaganda. John Baker, the parent of a daughter who received the worksheet, said, if you read that, you'd think everything's wonderful in that world. The same worksheet reportedly caused some controversy when it was used at another middle school in Samaria, Georgia in 2011. The Courier-Journal reported Sharon Coletti, who created the worksheet, said she was accused of indoctrinating students at the time and even received death threats. Though she denied trying to indoctrinate anyone, Coletti, who describes herself as a Christian, plans to pull the worksheet from the curriculum because of all the media attention. But frustrated and alarmed parents spoke out against the assignment at a recent school board meeting, citing its disregard for the lack of freedom and human rights violations in Saudi Arabia and other Muslim countries practicing Sharia law. The way that worksheet is left would be like describing how effective Hitler was at nationalizing Germany and creating patriotism, but leaving out that he slaughtered 6 million Jews, parent Dean Hull said. I'm just not okay with my daughter or any child that age leaving class with the understanding that anything about Sharia law is okay, he added. The next article that I have for you is off of the Daily.com, and it says China's first hack-proof quantum satellite now operational launches a new world. The world's first quantum communication satellite called MOSI, the 600 plus, I guess that's kilograms, it's kg, quantum experiments at space scale, or GUESS, nicknamed Micus after the ancient Chinese philosopher and scientist, is now officially operational following months of in-orbit testing, the Chinese Academy of Science, or CAS, announced, saying that the performance of the device is much better than it initially expected. Satellite was launched into orbit by in August to provide hack-proof communications in an age of ever-increasing cyber espionage and potential space-based warfare. Quantum communications will enable China to provide high-level communication security support to areas like inlands in the South China Sea, Chinese embassies, and consulates in foreign countries, and naval vessels. MOSI has been selected as one of 10 innovative technologies that changed the world in 2016 by Scientific American, and is the only tech on the list that was developed outside of the United States. GUESS satellite is the first ever space ground test platform for quantum communication, said Wang Jianyu, executive deputy chief engineer of Project Zuna, was quoted. Pan Jianan Wei, Chinese quantum physicist, pioneer, and chief engineer, announced that preliminary data has been obtained from the satellite and that the research team has begun to carry out experiments of transmitting uncrackable communications message to ground stations separated by about 1,200 kilometers, which is about 746 miles. The overall performance has been much better than we expected, which will allow us to conduct all of our planned experiments using the satellite ahead of schedule and even add some extra ones, Jong Wei said, as cited by the China Daily. The satellite contains a quantum key communicator, a processing unit, a laser communicator, a quantum entanglement emitter, an entanglement source to transmit quantum keys to Earth. GUESS uses principle of quantum entanglement as an act of fusing two or more particles into complementary quantum states. Quantum communication is designed to be hack-proof, as a quantum photon used in the process can neither be separated nor duplicated without detection. An interview with Nature.com, Pan Wan Wee said, "Our first mission is to see if we can establish quantum key distribution, the encoding and sharing of secret key using the quantum properties of photons between a ground station in Beijing and the satellite, and between the satellite and Vienna. Then we can see whether it is possible to establish a quantum key between Beijing and Vienna, using the satellite as a relay. The second step will be to perform long-distance entanglement distribution over about 1,000 kilometers. We have technology on the satellite that can produce pairs of entangled photons. We beam one photon of an entangled pair to a station in Delingua, Tibet, and the other to a station in Lijiang or Nanshan. The distance between the two ground stations is about 1,200 kilometers. Previous tests were done on the order of 100 kilometers. If you want to explore new physics," Pan Wan Wee added, "you must push the limits. Sure, in principle, quantum entanglement can exist for any distance, but we want to see if there is some physical limit. People ask whether there is some sort of boundary between the classical world and the quantum world. We hope to build some sort of macroscopic system in which we can show the quantum phenomena can still exist." So there you have all the information that I have for you this morning. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up and share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. Don't forget to subscribe. If you click that little bell beside the subscription button and check the box, you'll get email messages every time I put a show up, and that way you'll stay informed. We'll see you later. Have a great day.